Hello my YouTube friends and fellow domestic engineers. Today we are making beer bread. But not just beer bread, I'm adding cheese and herbs to give it a little extra something. I've never actually made beer bread before, it's just a weird idea I had, and so I'm making it up as I go. This is the final list of what I ended up using. So grab 3.5 cups of self-raising flour, 1 can of beer. If you think hubby will notice, then just hide it in the vegetable crisper for a few days and tell him he already drank it. And some sugar and salt. So that's the basic ingredients, but you can add herbs and cheese or bacon or do a sweet banana bread. So preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 356 Fahrenheit. And we're going to start with a mixing bowl and sifting the flour. So there's the first cup. So originally I only start with 2 cups of flour because I didn't want to start with too much. We can always add more later. Then we add half a teaspoon of salt. And a tablespoon of sugar. So originally I was only going to add the 1 tablespoon of sugar, but then I was worried that the bitterness in the beer might be a little too strong, so I decided to add another spoon, which worked out pretty well. So there's the second one. Next we have the beer. So this is the one I used, Great Northern something. This is a lager type, and it's 375 ml. Which seems like a lot for a can. If you have a smaller can, then just add less flour. So I'll just move that so you can see. Here we go. I'm going to give the dry ingredients a bit of a stir because I haven't actually done that yet. And we're just going to slowly add it in. Ooh, bubbles. I think this is going to be a bit wet. Let's speed it up and see what happens. Okay, so that consistency is not what I want. It looks like pancake batter. Maybe we'll do beer pancakes on my channel in the future, but for now, I'm going to add some more flour in pursuit of our bread dough. Okay, so there's 1 cup. We'll see how that goes. That's starting to look a lot better already. So it's coming together, but it's still quite sticky. So I'm going to add just half a cup. So I've already added 3. This is the half, so 3.5 in total. And I think that will be it until we're kneading. Yep. I'm starting to slide off the screen. Sorry about that. Okay, so now there is something that we need to do. So just spread some flour on a clean surface and empty your bowl onto it. So it's still quite sticky, so I'm going to add a little bit of flour on top there. and we're going to give it a bit of a knead. Okay, now I'm just going to spread it out, and I'm going to add some of the cheese and the herbs. Okay, so that's about half the cheese, and I'm just going to put the full teaspoon of mixed herbs in there as well. So I'm going to try and knead it kind of like making croissants, and just fold it up in there, roll it out, fold it, without actually rolling it, just kneading it through. So just try and stop it from escaping. So you can add the cheese and herbs a little earlier. The reason I didn't was because I don't know how to make beer bread, so I wanted to make sure I was getting the right consistency before I started playing with it. So once I knew I had that perfect dough, then I could start making changes. Now that I know the ingredients that work, I could add it earlier. So we want to give it a good mix through without actually overworking it. If you do overwork your dough and it becomes quite tough, then you can set it aside to rest for about half an hour. But this is still quite soft. In fact, this is probably the softest dough I've ever made. It's actually very nice to play with. So I'm just feeling to see that there are no cheese lumps in there, because otherwise you'll just have a lump of melted cheese in the middle of your bread. And I'm starting to shape it like a bread loaf. And here's the bread tray with, of course, baking paper in it. So I'm going to put this in the oven for 40 minutes at first, and I just check on it regularly. So there it is. Hopefully it'll rise. Alright, so this is it after 40 minutes, and it's looking really good. It's risen well. It's crispy on top, and it's quite soft on the sides, and I'm guessing inside. So I end up putting it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. So it's in there 50 minutes in total. And now it's cooled, so we're going to cut it open and have a look. It smells amazing. So let's have a look at this piece. You can't tell too well on the screen, but there's bits of cheese through it and herbs, and it feels soft. I thought it would be more dense. So we'll just cut through the rest of it. You can see more cheese up the top there. See, there's a bit of a cheese pocket. That's what I was talking about earlier, which I'm looking forward to eating actually. So I also decided to get a little more creative with how you eat the beer bread. I've tried some warmed up with butter, and that was quite nice. I also decided to have an interesting breakfast, and I lightly toasted a slice, put on some avocado, a slice of ham, and a poached egg, and that was amazing. You can also do toasted sandwiches. The bread works really well with a savoury toasted sandwich. So lots of fun things to do. Grab yourself a 6-pack and give it a go. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know if there's any recipes you want to see next. Thank you and have a great day.